Hi, good evening, everyone. Hope you all can hear me. So welcome to Digital IT VPN Week 2020, session 2 of the day 1. So as you know, we have 2 sessions per day from May 25th today up until 29th May. This Digital IT BPM Week is being organized by SLASCOM with the support of EDB, ICTA, FITIS, and also with our knowledge partners. So basically, what this IT BPM Week, what we want to try is basically uplift the skills of and knowledge of the IT undergraduates, and also bridge a gap between IT industry and also fresh graduates. So without a further ado, so let me hand over the session to Shehan Kumar, who is a Senior Manager, Employer Branding at Pearson Lanka. On his session, Be a Game Changer, Personal Grooming and Etiquette Tips to Ace Your Job Interview. Over to you, Shehan.
Thank you, Tushan. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening, despite your busy schedules. So currently it stands at 261. So I'm glad that we have a good participation this evening. What I'm going to talk about today, I think is really important for you guys. A lot of people are talking about this new normal, right? How we might not have to have face-to-face interviews anymore, but we hope and pray that things will get better. And I think you will learn some tips which would be important, not only for your job interview, but also for your careers as well. Bear in mind, now, what does etiquette mean? Etiquette means the usual norm accepted by society, right? Samaje pidigat yam kisi niti riti paddhatiya. Niti කියන්නේ මේක අකුරට පිළිපදින නෙවෙයි. So these are not rules which are hard and fast rules, but these are certain norms that has been accepted by the society as, okay, this is probably the best thing to do, right? So some of you might not agree with some of the things that I speak on this evening. Some of you might say, who is he to tell us how to dress? Who is he to tell us how to talk? Who is he to tell us how to face an interview? I can dress the way I walk. I can groom my hair. I can do whatever I want, right? But bear in mind, if you think that way, that's perfectly all right. But as I said, these are etiquette tips, things which are accepted by society as normal things. All right, so let's proceed. A little bit about myself. My name is Shehan Kumar. I'm a marketing communications professional. I've been in marketing communications for the past 21 years now. Yeah, pretty old. I've covered almost the entire gamut of the marketing sphere, including marketing, communications, branding, event management, project management. I'm also a copywriter. I write content for websites. I think right now in Sri Lanka, I would be one of the, probably, if not the writer who has written for the most number of websites. I'm also a corporate trainer. I'm a quiz master. And I'm also a past Leo multiple district president. I will speak a bit about these more as we go along. I work for Pearson right now. Pearson is the world's leading learning company. We have more than 24,000 employees in over 70 countries in the world. Pearson started off as a construction company was started off by a guy called Samuel Pearson, right? Samuel Pearson was a small guy who thought big 175 years ago. The company started off as a construction company. It then moved on to publishing. You know, have you heard of Penguin Books? Have you heard of Longman Macmillan, right? Pearson owned these companies at one point in their long 175 years. One of the few companies in the world that can boast of such a long history. We have currently an annual turnover of 4.2 billion sterling pounds. We are a public listed company in the New York Stock Exchange as well as FTSE, right? Our mission is to help people progress in their lives through learning, because we believe at Pearson, wherever learning flourishes, so do people, right? So we have a very noble cause where we are very keen to make sure that people everywhere in the world have access to learning. And you know what? There are 75 million users, learners in the world who are using Pearson products every day. Pearson Lanka is the largest Pearson-owned technology center. In Sri Lanka, we have close to around 900 people working for Pearson. We have 2 locations, one at the Maga building in Navala, as well as at Orion City. So we provide software development, remote infrastructure management services to multiple technology groups across Pearson. Bit about myself. So in the year 2006, I was selected as one of the outstanding young people of Sri Lanka. I won this under the category of humanitarian services. I'm also a quiz master. I conduct some of Sri Lanka's biggest quizzes, including Biz Quiz, and I'm a crazy cricket fan, so I do a thing called the Cricket Quiz. I recently started a thing called Let's Get Quizzical, where I conduct online quiz programs. Okay, so I love asking questions. Usually if it's a face-to-face training, I would ask you a lot of questions. I'm also a trainer. I've been training professionally for the past 10 years. I've done this particular training, I think, close to around 1,000 times, to be honest. I've done this at leading corporates. I've done this training program at universities, because it's very important, right? I feel this topic is a really important topic for young people as well as professionals. I'm happily married. My wife Dashanti runs an event management company called Dashing Events. I have 3 kids. Sujani is 18. My other daughter Dinara is 10 years old. My son Shevan just turned 4 during the lockdown. Everyone says, Babala okkoma taatta wagema cute. Don't know if that's true. Okay. Okay, I want to talk to you today. My topic is be a game changer, right? Girls, boys, right? You need to change your game. If you are studying in a university, if you are stuck in an organization, if you do not change your game, I'm sorry, it will be very difficult for you to grow. අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනවා අපි හැමෝම ගේම ඉල්ලන්න කැමති. හැබැයි ගේම වෙනස් කරන්න කවුරුත් පොඩ්ඩක් කැමති නෑ වගේ. Right? So let's look at some very practical examples. Cream crackers. Bear in mind, I'm not promoting any particular brand, right? So these are some of the brands that you are known, that are known among you. So I'm just sharing some information. So please don't think I'm promoting any particular brand. Cream crackers. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, cream cracker was what? Ledakama, right? People associated cream crackers as a ledakama, right? If somebody was sick in hospital, your mother would take a packet of cream crackers to see when she goes to see that person. Ledakama, right? So these companies that manufacture cream crackers thought, okay, we are not going to have this same, ledakama sort of association. So what did they do? They came up with a new advertising and marketing campaign. And then they came up with a campaign saying, "Podi badaginna super," right? So if you are in office, if you are working by about 11 o'clock, if you feel a bit peckish, poddak badaginna wage what? You take a cream cracker. Now what is cream cracker promoted as? A guy stands dressed up as Superman. He looks from top of a tree. He sees a young lady bathing in the river. He goes to rescue this lady, and he almost drowns, and the girl has to bring him up, right? Super kiyanne nikamma nemei. Right? So that's how cream cracker changed their game. Nestor Malt, another brand that we grew up with. Nestor Malt, once again, was known as a ledabima, right? If someone was in hospital, your mom would take a tin of Nestor Malt or a packet of Nestor Malt when she goes to see that person. Right? Then later on, they changed their game. Right? They showed there was an advertising campaign where the son was studying. It was late night. Mother would come, put her hand around the son, keep the cup of Nestor Malt on the table, and say, "Then Nestor Malt vela vai." Right? Then they rebranded. They had this good-looking young teacher, and she taught these kids in a preschool. And what the tagline they used was "Dawasa patan ganda Nestor Malt bonna." Now how does Nestor Malt go as? We have Chaturika Piri jumping up and down in a Zumba costume and says, "Bale Javaya Pubudai, Nestor Malt." Right? So ladies and gentlemen, these people have changed the game. You need to change the game as well. Let's look at someone who really changed the game. You know who this person is. So as I said, I'm a quiz master. I love asking questions about people. So this is one of the most famous people that I love from history that made a tremendous impact. He's someone who changed the game. His name is Alfred Nobel. Right? Alfred Nobel, one of the most famous people in the world. Alfred Nobel. So, Islam Nobel kiwa. What's the first thing that you remember or you recall when you hear the word Nobel? Yes, you're correct. The Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize. Most common prize, the most popular prize is the Nobel Peace Prize. But do you know that Alfred Nobel also invented dynamite? Alfred Nobel invented dynamite and became really rich, one of the richest people in the world. He sold dynamite to armies fighting wars. He sold dynamite to construction companies who were blowing up mountains, building bridges. He became so rich. He had a few brothers. One brother died in a laboratory experiment. They were making dynamite. One brother passed away. Alfred Nobel had another brother called Ludwig Nobel. Now, Ludwig Nobel went on a trip to Cannes in France. Have you heard of Cannes in France? Cannes is famous for the film festival, right? Everyone thinks it's pronounced Cannes, but no, it's pronounced as Cannes. So Ludwig Nobel, Alfred Nobel's brother, went on a trip to Cannes. And you know what happened? Ludwig Nobel died. The following day, a French newspaper got to know, a rumor was spreading around that Nobel had died. Nobel Merla. Right? There was a rumor going around. Everyone thought that Alfred Nobel had died. And this French newspaper who wanted to break the news first, like some of our local news channels, came up with this obituary. This was Alfred Nobel's obituary. The merchant of death is dead. Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday. Marane velenda miyai වැඩි දෙනෙක්ව වඩාත් ඉක්මනින් ඝාතනය කිරීමට ක්‍රම සොයාගත් ආචාර්ය Alfred Nobel ඊයේ මිය ගියේ. True story. When Alfred Nobel saw this, he was shocked. He thought, man, if I die today, people are going to remember me as the merchant of death, right? Marane velenda. Would you like to be remembered as the merchant of death? No, right? That day, Alfred Nobel decided he was going to change. He was going to be a game changer. He was going to change his legacy. He was going to change how history is going to remember this great man. He used his immense wealth. He wasn't married, didn't have children. He used his immense wealth and started the Alfred Nobel Foundation. And now, in the world, they select 5 people under 5 categories, people who have made significant impact to the world that we live in, under literature, economics, chemistry, physics, and of course, the most famous Nobel Prize is what? The Peace Prize. So isn't it strange that the person who was known as the merchant of death is now known for the Peace Prize? Just think about it, right? Alfred Nobel had the good fortune of seeing his obituary before he died. I want to ask you a question this evening. What if something happens to you today? How will people remember you? How will people remember you? Will they be happy or will they be sad? What is the legacy that you leave behind in this world? Just think about it, right? We live in a crazy world, right? Where people don't care about each other. Just think about it. We move on to our next slide. So Alfred Nobel's turning point was this mistakenly published obituary, right? What is your turning point? What is the turning point in your life? Right? The turning point කියලා මං අහන්නේ මෙතන බොරැල්ල හන්දින් මමට හැරලා නාරයන් පිටින් දකුණට හැරලා එන එක නෙමෙයි, right? Has something significant happened in your life that has changed you? Just think about it, right? Can I share another secret with you? Alfred Nobel worked for Pearson. Alfred Nobel was one of, so as I told you, Pearson was a construction company when he started. Alfred Nobel was one of our chief engineers during the 1870s, right? So this great man who changed history was also part of the great organization that I worked for. Just think about it. Perhaps this evening might be the turning point in your life. We do not know. This week, organized by SLASCOM, right, together with the EDB, ICTA, and FITIS, might be the game changer for you, right? Let's move on. What I'm going to talk to you now is not rocket science, but common sense. But unfortunately, common sense is not common to everyone, right? So I have been interviewing thousands of young people every day, right? In my workplaces, in my association with the Leo clubs, I have been talking to a lot of young people. But when I look at them, right, this statement is very true. Common sense is not common to everyone. Be a game changer, because game changers beat anything and they change everything. Preparation. So we are going to talk to you some points about job interviews. You know what preparation is? A lot of people say, job right? If I get this job, it's because of my luck. Remember, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. There's nothing called luck in this world. You are prepared, the opportunity comes, you click, and then you score. You are a game changer. Be prepared, right? This job that I got at Pearson, I came for this interview 1 year ago. I prepared myself like nothing for this interview, right? I might be having 21 years experience, but I prepared myself. I went in front of a mirror and I imagined the question that my interviewer would ask me, and then I prepared myself, right? There's nothing called luck. Be prepared, and then you can take hold of the opportunity. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? How you present yourself when you walk through that door for your interview is how that person is going to remember you for the rest of his life, his or her life. If I come for an interview, I come with my tie half undone, very shabbily dressed, right? Stinking of body odor, not prepared, I will give a very poor first impression. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Do you make heads turn? Do people take a second glance at you? Or do people look at you for these sort of reasons? Remember, you need to make a positive impression, not a negative impression. Dress code. Never underestimate the critical importance of attire within the corporate culture. What message does your attire send? What you wear says a lot about you, right? Remember, what you wear is going to say a lot about you. Right? Don't ever underestimate the critical importance of your attire, how you are dressed. Some general comments. In selecting your clothing, the most important thing you need to understand is the environment you're walking into. If you're walking into an IT company, you need to be dressed appropriately. If you're walking into a bank for an interview, you need to understand what the dress code in that organization is. If you're going for an interview at an advertising agency where it's a bit more casual, you need to understand what sort of clothes that would suit this environment. What are its trends and styles? Do the clothes you wear suit this environment? Just think about it. Do a bit of research if you're not sure. It's very important. There is a huge difference between what you like to wear and what you should wear. But of course, I would like to go to my office wearing a pair of shorts in a pair of slippers, but you know, there's a difference between what I like to wear and what I should wear. Some general comments. People with large structures should not wear shirts with checks or horizontal stripes because it makes them look bigger. So if you're a bit on the chubby side, girls, boys, both, do not wear checked clothing because it makes you look a bit more chubbier than usual, right? Shirts with horizontal stripes also might not suit you, but it's ideal, even if you're a bit on the shorter side, to wear shirts with stripes that go down. So I'm wearing a shirt with stripes because I'm a bit on the chubby side, right? So I try to, you know, always follow these things that I teach, that I talk to people about, right? So it creates an impression that you're not too chubby and you're not too short, right? So these are some general comments that you should understand. Some important facts for the guys, but remember, very important facts for the girls as well, because you have boyfriends, you have brothers, you have your parents, your father, right? So you might learn some of these things today and maybe go and talk to them, right? But please be subtle. Right? Some important facts for the guys. The shirt. The colors of the shirt you wear should be sober. Avoid patterns, right? Long sleeve shirts have a degree of formality. Try to wear long sleeve shirts. It always adds a bit of professionalism to you, right? It adds a bit of formality to you, right? Wear light colored shirts always. Always try to wear good quality cotton shirts. Difficult to iron and might crumple easily, but the quality of the shirt will always show, right? Avoid wearing tetra cotton or silk shirts. When you wear a shirt, when you buy a shirt, have a look at the label at the back, right? It will say what material the shirt is made of. If it says TC, that means it's tetra cotton. Try to avoid shirts like that, because when you sweat, you start to stink. You know, bubbles might appear on your collars, on your sleeves. It might not be of good quality, right? So always try to wear good quality cotton shirts. Avoid wearing oversized shirts. Use slim fit or trim fit types. Now, if you go to a good place to buy a shirt, they will ask you, sir, normal the trim fit the slim fit the regular, right? So you need to realize which clothes fit. You know, a person like me cannot wear slim fit clothes, right? So I need to understand that I should wear trim fit or a regular shirt, right? So when you go to a good place, they will actually help you. Ideally, gents should wear light pastel colored shirts. What does pastel mean? A lot of people think pastel means pastel pettiye thiyena paata kiyala, right? Pastel pettiye kalu paata thiyena, pastel pettiye has, you know, dark brown, dark maroon, different colors, but no, pastel doesn't mean chalk pettiye thiyena paata. Pastel means a color having a soft, subdued shade. Light color like these, right? So these are pastel colors. They are known as positive colors. So when people see you wearing these colors, they get a positive impression about you, right? So try always to wear colors that are pastel colors for the girls as well as for the boys. Huh? These are non-pastel colors. They are also known as negative colors. Black, dark maroon, red, dark green, luminous green. Have you seen people wearing luminous colored shirts when they walk on the streets? Not good, right? So please try to avoid those sort of shirts. Please iron your shirts well, right? Before you go for an interview or an important meeting, please remember to iron your shirts always. Some people, they just iron just the front. Why? They say, bus එක යනකොට පාඩි වුණාම පිටිපස්ස කොහමද පොඩි වෙනවනේ, right? Iron කරලා පොඩි වෙච්ච shirt එකකුයි iron නොකරපු shirt එක අතර ලොකු වෙනසක් තියෙනවා, right? So you need to iron your shirts. If you can't iron your shirts, please get your mother or someone to do it, or please learn how to iron your shirts properly. Mind your patterns, right? So some patterns like these might not always suit a good professional environment. Bola shirts, right? So I used to work with a guy, right? You might think these are very basic stuff. I used to work with a guy, right? Pallehada iritina shirt එකයි හරහාට iritina කලිසමයි bola tie එක ඇඳගෙන, right? He used to wear a shirt with stripes that go down, a trouser with stripes that go diagonally, and a tie with big spots, right? So as I said before, common sense is not common to everyone, right? Sometimes people need to hear these things from somebody else. The tie. Ideally, the tie should coordinate or match the shirt you are wearing. So I'm wearing a bluish sort of shirt today. I'm wearing a blue tie. Remember, a lot of people say tie should match the trouser. No, it should not match the trouser. It should match the shirt you're wearing. Most preferred colors of the tie included shades of blue, pink, or purple. Wine colors like dark red and maroon were preferred in the 80s, while yellow colored ties took over the 90s. Plain colored ties are always safe, but ties with normal stripes and with mild patterns are perfectly acceptable. A tie knot, remember, should always be shaped like a triangle. You see the double knot on the left-hand side of the screen, the single knot on the right-hand side, right? There are a lot of emails going around on social media and stuff as well, that there are 16 ways to tie the tie knot. Do not follow that, right? In Sri Lanka, we basically follow the double knot and the single knot. you're always safe wearing your tie that way. A necktie, remember, is tied to the proper length when the tip of the tie lies directly in line with the bottom of your belt buckle. So the tip of the tie, right, this tip of your tie should lie directly in line with the bottom of your belt buckle. Some guys, they wear the ties up to here, right? It's like a bib now. Some people, they wear their ties up to their, almost up to their knees, right? Not really good, right? You walk around the streets of Colombo, you see people like this, right? Remember, a tie should end at the bottom of your belt. So it's very important. Don't wear plain black ties with a white shirt. You look like a guy from a funeral parlor. Don't wear college ties or ties from clubs and societies for interviews, right? I have seen guys wearing college ties for their interviews. I know you might be very proud of your college, but please use the college tie for college activities like your OBU gatherings or whatever, but not for job interviews. Do not wear ties with cartoon characters. Not really good, not very professional. Right? Winnie the Pooh, Ben 10 Virya, Ha Ha Hari Hava. Please try to avoid ties with cartoon characters like that. Never wear loose ties. Some guys think it's pretty funky and cool that, you know, like this guy over here, right? They think it's very funky to loosen your tie. No, it's not, right? Never wear loose ties, especially if you're going for an interview. Trousers should preferably be dark, black, brown, dark blue or green. Beige and gray colored pants are also now in style, right? They're also acceptable. Remember, it's always good if you can get your trouser tailored. Buying ready-made trousers is good, but if you tailor your trouser, it's like this, right? It's a bit cumbersome. You need to go to the tailor shop once to give the measurements, right? And then go and collect it, right? But remember, you will always have a product that would fit you perfectly, right? If you get your trouser tailored, it will fit you perfectly and you can be very comfortable wearing that trouser, right? Bit cumbersome, as I said, but almost the same price, right? Buying a ready-made trouser and buying and tailoring a trouser is almost the same price, right? So, whereas if you tailor your trouser, you get a customized product that would fit you. The color of the trouser should coordinate with the shirt you are wearing. Do not wear trousers with loud designs or prints. Remember, the trouser and the shirt should coordinate. They shouldn't really match. Now, I shouldn't be wearing a blue trouser for this, right? But a trouser which coordinates with the shirt you're wearing. And yes, if you're wondering, I am wearing trousers, right? A lot of people think working from home, you dress well to the top part and you wear a pair of shorts. No, I'm wearing proper office trousers today. Because I wanted to be comfortable because I'm presenting this online for the first time, right? Remember, do not wear trousers with loud designs or prints because people might think you're still in your pajamas or they might even mistake you for a clown, right? So please do not wear trousers with loud designs or prints. Remember, the leg of the trouser should just cover the top of your shoe, right? So when you stand up, right, the trouser, the tip of the trouser should just cover the top part of your shoe. Some people, they love to do the public a huge service. They do the municipal council, a lot of service. They try to clean the roads. Right? Some people, as if they are caught in floods, they have very short trousers. No, it should just cover the top of your shoe. No cargo pants or denims or bell bottoms, please, right? So I see some guys, bell bottoms were clothing our parents wore, but it might not always suit you guys, right? Belt. Being beltless is considered unprofessional, right? So wearing a belt to your office or to an interview is considered compulsory, right? So do wear a belt. I see a lot of young guys coming for interviews from universities. They do not wear a belt. Remember, wearing a belt, it adds a bit of class to you. But remember, when you wear a belt, wear a formal leather belt with a sleek looking buckle. Very importantly, your belt should match the color of your shoes. Your belt should match the color of your shoes. If you wear a brown belt, brown shoes, black belt, black shoes. Remember, I have seen a lot of guys, even senior professionals, they wear brown belt and black shoes. One of the biggest fashion crimes you can make. Remember, the belt and the shoes have always got to match. If you're wearing blue shoes, you need to wear a blue belt. You know that, right? So please remember, very important part of this program. Remember, you should avoid long belts. Ideally, the tongue of the belt, right, where the belt ends, belt should end just after the first trouser buckle, right? If your belt is a bit long, please cut it. Please cut it, right? When you cut your belt, you don't cut it from the edge. You remove the buckle and you cut it from the inside. So if it's about 6 inches long, right? You remove the buckle, you measure 6 inches and you cut it from inside, fix the buckle and wear it, right? Please wear a belt professionally. Don't wear belts with large buckles. You know, some people like to wear these belts as if they are, you know, like WWF wrestling champions with a wrestling belt. No, doesn't suit you, right? Some people, when they wear the belt, මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තාම මේ පැත්තෙන් belt එක ඉවර වෙන්නේ, right? So that doesn't go well with your professional outlook. Socks. Socks should be calf length and should coordinate with the trouser. Remember, it should not match your trouser exactly. It should coordinate with the trouser. So if I'm wearing a beige trouser like I'm wearing today, my socks should ideally be brown, right? Or, you know, something that matches or coordinates. Stick to darker formal shades. Try to avoid luminous socks, right? Branded, bright colored socks. So you should avoid those. Remember, your socks should be long enough not to expose your skin when you sit down. So when you sit down at the interview or in the bus or whatever, right? Your skin on your leg should not be shown out, right? Your sock should cover your skin. Avoid white socks, guys. Grow up. You're no longer a schoolboy. You're now at a university. You're about to get into a full-time career. Schoolboys wear white socks, right? If you have white socks at home, socks are not really expensive. Buy some good socks. ඉසික්කරන්න ලෝබනම් කපලා කැරම් බෝඩ් එකේ හතර පැත්තට දාන්න නැත්නම් ලෙදර් බෝලයක් දාලා ක්‍රිකට් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න, but avoid white socks. Avoid colorful socks, red, pink, yellow, orange socks. Remember, avoid torn, dirty socks with bad odor, right? One of the biggest no-nos in your corporate etiquette. If there is even a tiny bit පොඩි සිදුරක් තිබ්බත් sock එකේ විසික් කරලා දාන්න, right? Socks එච්චර ගණන් නැහැනේ. මොකද අපි දන්නේම නැතුව, right? Without us knowing it, this small hole, which it will become bigger and bigger, and without much time, your big toe would come out, your ankle would come out, your heel would come out. So not very professional, right? Please wash your socks at least once a month, right? Not once a month. Every time you wear your socks, please wash it. Keep it clean. Keep yourself clean. Shoes should be well polished and the shoes and the belt should match. Remember, I told you before, avoid casual shoes like these. These are, now remember, these are okay if you go out with your friends on a Saturday, you go out for a party, that's perfectly all right. But if you're going for a job interview or an important meeting, please avoid casual shoes like this. Definitely avoid slippers or sandals. Very important. If your shoes give out a bad odor, please use a shoe fragrance immediately. Now, I told you before, I'm not promoting any brand, so this is the shoe fragrance that I use, right? What is a shoe fragrance? A shoe fragrance is you get my shoe, right? You take your shoe, you keep the shoe fragrance in the middle and you press it, right? It's like a perfume. You can even then take your shoe and it's perfectly all right, okay? This is a really important thing to have for a guy. Girls, nice gift to give your boyfriends, right? But please, if you're giving them a shoe fragrance, please tell them it's a shoe fragrance, or they might think it's a perfume and they might apply it on their body, right? Remember, if your shoes give out a bad odor, a common problem with most guys, please use a shoe fragrance. Right? If you can't use a shoe fragrance, use baking soda, right? If you use baking soda, if your shoes stink, right, put some baking soda on it in the evening. In the morning, gasala, you can wear your shoes. So girls, please don't give your boyfriends baking soda as a gift. Try to give them a good shoe fragrance. Not very expensive at all, right? Hair and beard. Hair should be neat, not too long, and ideally should not touch the collar at the back, right? Do not use too much gel or hairspray. Some guys, what they do is they get this small gel packet, they break it, and they shape their hair. In a little while, the gel and the water mixes, it comes down from the back of your head and your collar gets all dirty. I have seen young guys coming for interviews with their collars dirty because the gel had come down with the water and or with their sweat and has ruined their collars, right? So do not use too much of gel. I use quite a bit of gel, but you should know your limits. If you have sideburns or a mustache or a beard, perfectly all right, but remember, keep it trimmed and keep it very neat, right? Right? Doesn't look very professional. You know why? I'm telling you, right? A lot of people think, okay, we are going to work in IT industry, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to look good, right? You need to first take care of yourself. How can you love your company? How can you love your job if you do not love yourself, right? So it's very important. You need to look after yourself well. Ear hair, very important. A lot of guys have this problem. Khane mile, right? Some of you will laugh, but it's a big problem, right? Let's have a look, some of the pictures. I have seen young guys, 20, 25 years old. They have this problem. What do? Get a trimmer. I use a trimmer, right? You take a trimmer, it's online, just about $3 or $4. You go to the shops in PETA and get it for about $800. You switch on the trimmer. I don't know if you can hear me. You just do this. Trim the ear hairs off. Right? 2-minute job and you're done. Girls, yet another very good gift to give your boyfriends, right? Very simple thing that will add a little bit of professionalism to you. Another big problem with some guys is they have a lot of nose hair. Nahayang mehema, Mailena elite, right? Not professional. So what do? Same thing again. You take the trimmer, you gently cut the nose hairs which are coming out, which are protruding, right? Now remember, make a nahaya atulata dala, atuledin okkoma. You don't need to get rid of that, right? Or you don't need to put it right into your ear. It's just for the external hair, which doesn't look very professional when it outgrows. Okay? So try to get rid of this. Avoid wearing gold wristwatches. Stick to either silver or black watches, right? Don't try to wear too many accessories. Some people, they wear a lot of, friendship bands, Api Venuin, Api bands, right? Different branded stuff. Don't overdo it, right? Stick to a nice watch. Try to have a silver colored watch always. It adds a bit of professionalism to you. Try to wear cufflinks. You know what cufflinks are, right? You wear it with long sleeve shirts. Wear cufflinks. It adds a bit of professionalism to you. Your tie-pin or cufflink should not be too gaudy. There are some huge, brightly colored cufflinks. No, it should match the tie or the shirt or the attire that you're wearing. Use a good pen, guys, girls. Please spend a couple of ₹100 and buy a good pen, right? Pitakotu giyot hema original paaka wage penak ganna pulang rupiah 300 විතර, right? I am not kidding you. I have used it, right? Pens are very difficult things to safeguard, right? They say office එකේ rupiah 50000ක් මේසුඩ තියලා ගියත් නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. පෑනක් තියලා යන්න විනාඩි 5ක් you won't be able to find the pen, right? So have a good pen always. If you're going for an interview, this is called the show pen, right? So you have the show pen on your top pocket. You have another normal pen in your trouser pocket, right? Girls, always good to have a good show pen also with you, but make sure the show pen is writing, okay? If you go for an interview and the lady at the counter gives you a form to fill, you try to fill in the form, right? Then you try to ask that lady for her pen. Not very professional, right? So make sure you have a good show pen and make sure the show pen is writing, right? Pens are not really expensive. You can buy a nice pen for a few ₹100. Your wallet. Empty your wallet of all unnecessary content, and it should be a maximum of 1 inch of thickness, right? Some guys, පස්සේ එක පැත්තක් flat, අනිත් පැත්ත නිකන් මෙන්න size, right? Why? Because their purse, their wallet is huge, right? කාටරි ගහලා මරන්න පුළුවන් පර්ස් එකෙන්. නැත්තම් වාහනයක් කාන්දක නවත්තලා අඩියට තියන්න පුළුවන් රෝදේට පර්ස් එක වාහනේ අඟලක්වත් තෙල්ලෙන්නේ, right? Remember, get rid of all the unnecessary content in your wallet, right? If you have old love letters from your girlfriend, old jackpot lottery tickets, please get rid of them, right? Unnecessary stuff. Please keep your wallet at a maximum of 1 inch of thickness, right? This is an email that I got some time back. It said, stop sitting on the problem. If you're carrying a wallet, try to avoid having the wallet in your back pocket, because your spine should be straight when you sit down. But if you have a wallet there, it will be like this. So it's not very good for you health-wise as well. Some important facts for the girls. Please try to avoid denims and cargo pants, as I said, for the guys, right? Not very professional. Mini skirts or dresses, please do avoid, not recommended, because you know why? You might get the job, but for all the wrong reasons, right? It's unfortunate, but you might get the job for all the wrong reasons. So try to avoid mini skirts or mini dresses when you go for a job interview. Try to avoid fancy skirts like these. These might be really good looking and ideal for parties, but not for a job interview, right? So you guys need to realize that. Avoid culottes like these. T-shirts or shorts, please do avoid, right? Saris, the most safest dress for a woman to wear in Sri Lanka is a sari, right? Because in a sari, you can never be overdressed or underdressed. You can go anywhere in Sri Lanka wearing a sari. But remember, when you wear a sari, the choice of material should be nothing too opulent. Kanchi, Manipuri, Kanchipuram saris, right? Wear nice plain saris which doesn't have too much of a working. Avoid bright flashy shades. Use sober colors, like I said, for the guys. Kareena Kapoor wage lasanta sari එකක් ඇඳගෙන යන්න. Right? Please try to avoid gaudy saris like these. Avoid fancy dressing styles like Gujarati, Marathi, Karate, right? Try to avoid these things. Good for weddings, but not for a job interview. Right? Please wear jackets with sleeves. Right? No fancy designs. Don't wear sleeveless jackets when you, or sleeveless tops as well, right? Even if you're going for an important interview. The blouse or the top, a lighter shade is preferred. Avoid loud patterns or tops that have excessive sequins. Say, for example, you go for an interview, right? You sit under a light in a small office room. That light hits your sequins, right? When the guy comes for the interview, he can't see, right? We need people to focus on you, not what you're wearing, what your accessories are. Accessories and your clothing is good to create a positive impression, but we need people to pay attention to you and what you're capable of, right? So loud patterns or sequins might throw people away. As I said before, skirts or dresses should be of reasonable length and should not in any way be immodest. Business suit, perfectly good dress to wear for office, right? Perfectly safe. But remember, if you're wearing a business suit, it should be well tailored and it should fit you perfectly, right? You will always look very professional if you wear a business suit for an interview or for an important meeting. Accessories. Your jewelry should be basic, girls. Keep it simple and avoid anything large and shiny. Try to wear small earrings or stuff. Don't wear large dangly earrings or hoops, because then when the earrings dangle, now say there are two people conducting the interview. The person on your left asks you a question. You look towards that person. Your earrings will start shaking, right? If you look to the other person, the earrings will start shaking again. The person conducting the interview will go like this, right? You want that person to have full attention on you, right? Not on your earrings, right? So try to avoid large dangly earrings or hoops. You can wear either a bracelet or bangles, but not both. A wristwatch is essential. Remember, girls, a lot of girls don't wear wristwatches now because they have their mobile phones to check the time. Wear a nice silver wristwatch. It will add a lot of professionalism and class to your outlook. Avoid large chunky bracelets or bangles like these. Not very professional. Try to carry a professional handbag. I know handbags are really expensive, right? But try to carry a professional handbag. Don't carry these shopping bags given from clothing shops when you go for interviews. I have seen a lot of girls. I know handbags are very expensive, but try to carry a decent looking handbag at least when you come for an interview, right? Ideally, they say the color of the bag should match the clothing you're wearing, but I know bags are really expensive, but black or dark brown handbags are perfectly all right. Try to carry a mini sewing kit with you, right? This is a mini sewing kit. It has a few colored pieces of thread, a safety pin, a needle, right? A few buttons. If you can have this, girls, boys, both. I have this mini sewing kit with me always when I go around. It can save you a lot of embarrassments. You know, once when I went to meet a client, I finished the meeting. He was wearing a brand new pair of pants. I opened the door. I tried to get into the car, and my trouser had a huge tear. Right? What did I do? I went back to office quickly. I had this sewing kit with me. I went to the washroom, removed my trouser, and I did a quick, sewing patch-up work, and I was good. Right? So have this with you always. It can save you a lot of embarrassments. Shoes, if you can, try to match your shoes and your handbag. Covered or peep-toe shoes are recommended. You can also wear smaller heels or flats. Try to stick to brown or black shoes. Avoid bright colored shoes. And remember, make sure your shoes are well polished and kept clean. I've seen some ladies wear white shoes. Kannokota white, then nikang brown, potu galavila, kali galavila, right? Not very professional. Hair. Girls, remember, your hair is one of the most important aspects of your personality. Your hair needs to be neat, clean, and healthy. Always use a good shampoo and conditioner, right? It's compulsory, right? I hope you bathe at least once a week, right? A lot of girls say they bathe every other day. Please keep yourselves clean because your hair will add to your personality, right? Long hair should be neatly tied. Please avoid using bright colors to highlight your hair. Highlighting or coloring your hair is perfectly all right, but remember not to use bright colors like red or bright purple, right? Because we are trying to, as I said before, right at the start, right? We are trying to create a positive impression, not a negative impression. So let's try to avoid these bright colors, right? A lot of people beauty culture karande gila beauty kachal karagana, right? Makeup is a very important aspect of your attire and how you look, girls, right? Don't try to do beauty culture and make it beauty kachal, right? So there are some good examples, right? So this is before makeup and after makeup. Before makeup, after makeup. Before makeup, after makeup. In the USA, they selected 9 ladies. They did a full makeover, and this is how they looked before, and this is how they looked after the makeover, right? Do you see a huge difference? Right? So girls, don't worry. As long as there is makeup, you have hope, right? Don't worry, I'm just joking. Everyone is beautiful, but it's very important, right? If you go for an important interview or a meeting, just to add a bit of makeup to you to enhance how you look, right? When you use makeup, use it at a minimum purely to enhance, and the colors should blend. Try to use natural colors as opposed to bright shades. Your nail and your lip colors should coordinate, right? Don't have a blue nail polish and red lipstick. They say ideally you should match your lipstick with your nail polish. It's not Q-Tex, remember, it's nail polish. Q-Tex was a brand. A lot of people say it's Q-Tex, but it's called nail polish. So your nail polish and your lipstick color should coordinate. Okay, some common stuff for the boys and the girls. I might run about 5 or 10 minutes more than my allocated time. I hope you will excuse me. I hope you're not bored, right? I hope you're learning something. This is the first time I'm doing this online, right? And this is usually sort of a half a day or a full day training program, but I have just 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes to do this, right? So please excuse me. I'll have a sip of water before I continue. Please excuse me for a second. Okay, now for some common stuff for the boys and the girls, which are really important. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions right now. Remember, if you forget everything that I talked to you about today, do not forget this next section, right? This section is going to be really important. Do you sweat? Everyone sweats, right? If you don't sweat, you need to go and check a doctor, right? Everyone, if you're a human being, you have to sweat. Is sweating a problem for you? Right? Is sweating a problem for you? Can you smell your body odor? Huh? Can you smell? Mostly we don't smell our own body odor because our nose is used to our body odor. අපේ නහය අපේ ගඳට හුරු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අපිට එන්නේ නැහැ ඒ ගඳ. Right? The next question. Have you smelled another person's body odor? I don't want you to comment or anything, but I'm sure everyone would be raising their hands. Have a look at this next slide and tell me if you have experienced this. You're traveling on a bus or a train in Sri Lanka, right? There's a guy holding the top bar. උඩ තියෙන පොල් අල්ලන් ඉන්නවා. බස් එක බ්‍රේක් එකක් ගහපු ගාම you go and knock your nose under his or her armpits. I'm sure you must have experienced that. I have experienced that. Not really good, right? Have you experienced this? Right? You know, a lot of guys like to take selfies with girls. They call the girls around and in the selfie aganda, they want to, show that they're surrounded by good-looking girls. But the girls, they don't always enjoy that because the guy has bad body odor, right? If you take a look at most of these selfies from girls, have you noticed that? They're always like this, with their lips puckered up, their nose closed. So probably because the guy next to them has bad body odor, right? Just joking. But this is also a serious problem. Would you like to have a job like this? This is an actual job where people get to smell under the arms of other people, right? Would you like to have a job like this? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big problem, especially in a tropical, warm country like ours, right? It's very important. I have worked in organizations where, I'll be honest with you, I'm not proud of it, right? Where I had nothing to do with it. Where in some places, when students from universities come in for interviews, right, there'll be a worker in that office, a cleaner in that office that would walk around with an air freshener, spraying air freshener, right? Not very good. But it's a common problem with a very simple solution. Some sweaty facts. Everyone sweats. It's 100% natural. Remember, I sweat, you sweat. Everyone has to sweat, right? If you don't sweat, then there's something wrong with you. On average, a person sweats around 1 to 10 liters of sweat a day. Only 0.6% of that body sweat is from your underarms, right? And that 0.6% is enough to ruin your entire career. You walk into an interview, right, reeking of bad body odor. Chances are you're not going to get that job because the person conducting that interview wants to get rid of you. Right? Girls, boys, this is a common problem. Bacteria causes your body odor. Don't use perfume or talc or powder under your arms. Those are just temporary measures. They add to the sweat and it gets even worse. So what do? You need to use an antiperspirant. What is an antiperspirant? Anti කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අල්ලපු ගෙදර anti ගැන නේ මම කතා කරන්නේ. Anti means එදිරිවාදී හෝ ප්‍රතිවිරුද්ධ විරුද්ධත්වය අංගපන උපසර්ගයක්. Something to fight against. What? Perspiration. You need to use something to fight against perspiration. දහඩිය දැමීමට එරෙහිව සටන් කරන්න යම්කිසි දෙයක් භාවිත කරන්න ඕනේ. So what do you use? You need to use a deodorant, right? Again, I'm not promoting a brand, right? If I Google this is what the image I got, right? You need to use a deodorant. Very, very important, right? Very important. This will make or break your career. Remember, men perspire 50% more than women, right? Men sweat 50% more than women. So men need to use a deodorant that is suited to them. They can't use a female perfume, guys. Remember, what do? Shave under your arms. Girls, boys, both shave under your arms. No good will ever come to you having, hair under your armpits. Please shave them. Have a wash or shower and dry well before you use deodorant. And please use only underarms. So this is what I use, right? So you take this and you use only under your arm. I have seen guys using deodorant on their necks and on their chest as well. No, you need to use it only under your armpits, right? Because you need to sweat from your neck and your chest areas, but you can live without underarm sweat. You need to allow it to 30 seconds, 30 seconds to dry. Have you seen some shirts? They get white under the armpits. It's because people have used deodorant and then before the deodorant is dried, they wear the shirt. If you use deodorant correctly, it can leave you up to 48 hours and leave you refreshed. Please use an antiperspirant daily. Very important, right? Perfume or body spray, please use perfume and body spray. Choose a perfume that suits you, right? So what's the difference between a body spray and a perfume, right? I'll tell you. So I have with me a body spray and a perfume. What is the difference, right? So how you use a body spray is you have a wash, you come back, before you dress, you take the body spray and you apply it on your body, right? Perfume is different, right? Your cologne is different. How do you use your perfume? You don't apply it on your clothes, right? There are some people, they apply perfume on their clothes. Have you seen some shirts or some blouses or tops with perfume spots? No, it looks very unprofessional. So what do? Where do you apply perfume? You take the bottle of perfume, you spray a couple of sprays here, you do like this, you rub behind your ears. That's all. If you want, you can spray behind your ears as well. If you want, a little bit on your neck as well. That is enough to last, right? Do not spray on your clothes. You will ruin your clothes. It will do you no good at all. Okay, very important. Nails and feet, please keep your nails and fingernails and the nails very clean, right? Some hamara kollu dakka garage එකකින් ඊට වගේ, right? Not good at all, right? Simple things that will go a long way. Bad breath. Ideally, if you can, brush your teeth after lunch. අපේ කට්ටිය මම ගන්න දවල් 12ට විතර ඉන්ටර්වියු එකක් තියෙනවා ඔෆිස් එකේ. So they have a salmon bun or a sini-sambal bun on the way, right? When they go for the interview, right? They don't know the gastric acids start mixing with the salmon and they start mixing with the onions in the sini-sambal. And when the person conducting the interview says hello and gives in their hand, you say, hi, that person might faint, right? So remember, try using a mouthwash. Mints can be helpful. Try to have good breath. Don't have bad breath, because when you have bad breath and when you go and talk to someone, you know, you ruin that entire conversation. So you go for an interview that if you have bad breath, usually interviews are conducted in small meeting rooms, right? So you have bad breath, you walk in, you talk to that person with bad breath, that person would want to get rid of you. They would not even want to hire you and find out how good you really are. Bad breath could be minimized if you drink plenty of water, reduce eating meats, and brush your teeth after meals, right? Remember, do that. Underwear. Please wear underwear. And when you wear underwear, please wear underwear that's made of good quality material. And remember, when you wear underwear, do not display it in public like these guys, right? Ladies, the person conducting the interview might not always be interested. So it's not very professional. Do not display your underwear in public. Use a clean iron handkerchief. Try to use a white handkerchief or a handkerchief that matches your attire. If you're using perfume, include a drop of your perfume on the handkerchief so it smells good. And females prefer to use tissues. Perfectly all right. I will now talk to you a bit about your body language. I spoke to you about your attire. It's now 7:28. I will take about 10 minutes more of your time. Please do excuse me. These are very important areas to cover. As I said, this is a half-a-day program that I have to squeeze into 1 hour, right? So please do excuse me. Body language, very important. How you walk in, you dress, okay, so you are dressed well now, okay? You are dressed well. But how you walk in to that boardroom or your meeting room to get to face your interview, how good your handshake is, how firm your handshake is, how you sit, right? It'll have a huge impact as well. Remember, body language is a non-verbal expression of what we wish to convey to the receiver. It is evidence in the manner we talk, we walk, and position our hands. This can be defined as body sport played unconsciously by the body. Remember, it's played unconsciously by the body, but if you practice it well, right, you can perfect it well too. Handshakes, very important. Now I know with Corona and social distancing, handshakes might not be a thing for the next few months, but I want to tell you some important stuff about handshakes. right? If you can't shake hands with someone for your next interview, please use the Sri Lankan manner of saying Ayubowan and wish that person a long life, right? If you can't shake hands with that person. The fail-safe handshake. This is the correct way to shake hands. You connect the web between your index finger and thumb. There's a web, right? This part between the index finger and the thumb, that's called the web. You connect your web with the other person's web and pump 2 or 3 times, right? You shake hands, you pump 2 or 3 times. A lot of people, they don't connect this web with the other person's web, right? So you need to connect the 2 webs. Remember, when you are shaking hands with someone, you are meeting them on equal terms, right? Not halfway, not just the fingers, right? You need to connect the web between the 2 people shaking hands. This is confident and always appropriate. There's a thing called the rubber glove handshake. So when you're shaking hands with someone, you use your other hand to hold that other person's hand, right? A favorite handshake of politicians, right? handshake karna, but this should only be done with someone you know well, right? You go for an interview, you don't know that person, don't go to do the rubber glove handshake with them. The Queen's handshake. If you watch Robin Hood growing up in Sri Lanka, you would see the Queen or the King or the Prince, they would come, they would give their hand like this. And then the person in front of them would take the hand and give them a kiss. Well, I've seen that, right? Some people, they think they are the Queen or the King and they give their hand like this. So the person shaking their hand has to hold their hand like this and shake, right? Don't ever do that. You are trying to indicate you're superior than the other person. You're trying to put that person down. Remember, a handshake, you meet that person on equal terms. This web touches the other web. You meet that person on equal terms. The most famous handshake of university students and Sri Lankans in general is the dead fish handshake. මැරිච්ච මාළුවෙක් දෙනා වගේ මෙහෙම අත දෙන්නේ. මෙහෙම අත දෙන ගමන් අනිත් අතෙන් මෙහෙමත් අල්ලනවා, right? Please don't do that. It conveys weakness and a lack of self-confidence. You connect your web with the other person's web, shake a couple of times, look the person in the eye. Very important, right? Then there's a thing called the Terminator handshake. Right? Some people, they've gone to the gym එකට ළඟ හදාගෙන අර මනුස්සයාගේ අත shake කරනකොට දත් මිටි කාගෙන කට ගාලා අර මනුස්සයාගේ අත මෙහෙම කරනවා, right? Do not do the Terminator handshake. A handshake is not the good time, not a good time, not the ideal time to show how strong you are. You have other ways to show how strong you are, but not during a handshake. Be friendly. Always be ready to initiate a handshake with someone. Make sure, very important, when you're shaking hands with someone, you're standing, right? You need to stand up when you shake hands with someone. I've seen at certain banks, people seated at the counter, when a customer comes, they just give their hand like this. They don't even get up. Not good at all. You stand up, you show respect for yourself and the other person. Look the other person in the eye. Always look, when you're shaking hands, you need to look the person in the eye and shake their hand. Do not look around. You can show, don't allow the handshake to linger too long. Samara means to handshake, right? Right? We try to pull it up, but they don't give the hand. Do not let your handshake linger too long, but you can show an extra bit of sincerity by holding their hand second long. Poddak handshake karla, kappara kallang inna to show an extra bit of sincerity after the last bump. This is Barack Obama's handshake, the fist bump, right? Please reserve these fist bumps, high fives, and all these casual handshakes with people you know. Don't go to an interview and try to do these things. It might not work well for you. A very important statistic that you should remember next time you shake hands with someone is that 1 out of every 3 men in this world and 1 out of every 5 women in this world do not wash their hands after using the washroom. Terrible statistic, but it's true, right? So please remember that statistic the next time you shake hands with someone. But I know now people are very safe after COVID. But remember these things when you shake hands with someone next. Firm handshake, look the person in the eye, smile and shake their hands. Your gazes and eye movements. You walk into that interview, you need to look the person straight, right? Etiquette says if it's a business transaction, you have the right only to look between their eyes, their forehead, and basically their face. You can't look around. You can't look at their tummy or their bust or whatever. You need to look at them and talk to them straight. Sit straight when you go for an interview, right? Don't go and dump your file. A lot of people, they bring the file, they dump it on the interviewer's table. No, remember, the interviewer's table is not your territory. The interviewer's table is their territory. You need to keep the file on your lap. Keep your left leg on top of your right leg. Sit straight. Don't slouch when you go for an interview. I've interviewed people who talk to me like this. Right? There was once a girl who took her pen and she spoke like this as if she's speaking to a microphone. Right? Not very good body language tactics. Right? I won't go through all this, but your gazes are very important. Guys, girls, remember always to smile. When you walk into that interview, always smile, right? Smile, right? But smile appropriately. And chances are, if you smile well, you answer your questions well, you will get that job, right? Some people say, if someone walks in through the door with a smile on their face, there's an 80% chance that he or she would get that job, right? So smile, right? Nobody's going to charge you for that. Use your smile to change this world, but don't let this world change your smile. They say the smile is the best makeup any girl can wear, right? So always smile. Show that you're a very joyful person. You know, this world is full of problems, right? There are some things you can't control in this world, right? But what we can control is how our outlook is, how well we smile, how well we present ourselves, right? So always smile, guys and girls. Very simple thing to do. Hand movements. Now I want you to do a small thing, right? Keep your hands in front of you, right? Look at the outside of your hands first. Look at the outside of your hands. Now turn your hands up. Look at the insides of your hands. Which side is better? Is it the rough looking outside or the smooth looking inside, right? So it's fairer than the outside part of your hand. Always you keep your hands open when you talk with someone, right? Do not keep your hands like this. Do not keep your hands like this, right? Always talk. If you're going for an interview, you talk to that person, you talk like this. You keep your hands open. They say to draw imaginary lines here, this way, and this way as well. And keep your hand movements restricted to those lines. දෙපැත්තට සමාන්තර රේඛා දෙකක් යනගන්න හිතින් S2යි අපි නාභිය belly button එකයි අතර තියාගන්න. Your hand movements, your hand gestures should be between there. මෙහෙම යන්න එපා, මෙහෙම කතා කරන්න එපා, right? You don't try to overdo it. You are not a politician trying to get preferential votes, right? You are trying to get a job through the job interview. So limit your hand movements. Always keep your hands open. Don't show this, show this. Okay. Walking styles. Who is this guy? Dwayne Johnson or The Rock, right? Very confident looking guy, right? Always walk positively. There are some people who walk like slouchers. They if you drive a vehicle on the street, you go and park the vehicle in front of a crossing line. See how guys and girls cross the road, right? Sometimes it's so frustrating. Right? You know, you in school we learned something very small. Head put and walk fast. Walk positively. Put your chest forward. Walk positively and confidently. Right? I'm sure you will do well. Any questions at this time? Right? Before that, I'll come back to the questions. Okay, sorry. So now I see about 4 questions. I'm almost at the end now. Is fluency in English matters, or is it okay if I talk in an understandable way? It's like this, right? So in Sri Lanka, English is not a mother tongue, right? So it's all right if you're not really fluent in English, but I think you should take some effort and learn some English, There are plenty of options available online, to be honest. I know a guy who works with me. He learned to speak English fluently like a Britisher purely through YouTube, right? So if you have a will, I'm sure you have a way. So there's another question from Inhas. Sir, can boys wear black wristwatch for interviews? Perfectly all right. So what they say is now gold wristwatches are out of style, guys, right? So watches which are silver are the best, but if you have a watch with a black strap, that's perfectly all right. That's good. What if the interviewer are acquaintances? What handshake do you use? Even then, I think it's always good, right? Even if you know that person, it's always good because you're meeting that person. Proper handshake. You know, you need to be very tactful also working in an organization. You know, I have worked in some places where my boss calls me Machan, right? My boss sometimes calls me Machan, right? But that doesn't mean I call him Machan back, right? So you need to be tactful, right? Can we ask questions? Yes. The person conducting the interview will appreciate if you ask questions, right? So, but always ask relevant questions. Don't, they say first interview, don't ask about the salary, right? Some people make the mistake. Any questions? Yes, sir. Can I know about the salary that I'm getting? So usually the person conducting the interview, if they want to talk about the salary, they will ask you what is your expected salary. But it's perfectly all right to ask relevant questions like what are the working hours, right? What are the benefits that we have? It's perfectly all right to ask those questions. Is it okay to wear smartwatches? Yes, it's perfectly all right. Perfectly all right. You need to move with technology as well. What about the beard? You can have a beard, but as I said before, have the beard, but please keep it neatly trimmed. Don't have, you know, pieces of hair sticking from here, under your neck, you know. Have a beard. I know a lot of guys like to grow their beards now, but, you know, have it nice and trim and neat. Where to keep a handbag while conducting the interview? Yes, very good question. Where do you keep the handbag? Do you keep it on top of the interviewer's table? No, right? Keep it on the ground. Keep it on the ground. Do not keep it with you. Don't hug your handbag. A lot of girls, I see they keep their handbag like this and they sort of, you know, hug the handbag. No, right? You take your handbag, you keep it on the ground, right? Perfectly all right. Okay, a lot of questions. What is the best way of answering tell about you question? What are the points should be highlighted? Now, this is a question that every interviewer will ask you. Tell me about yourself. Shehan, tell me about yourself. So you need to prepare yourself and go. Sandun is asking me this question. Sandun or anyone else, you need to prepare yourself. You know this question is going to come. You need to prepare. Make a summary of yourself in 1 minute, right? But don't make it like this. Hi, my name is Shehan. I'm 25 years old. I'm a student of University of Peradeniya. I have played cricket in my school days. I was a prefect of my Daham Pasra. No, not that. Try to find something that is unique about you. You know what I said at my last interview? When the person conducting the interview asked me the question, I said, life has always been very tough for me, but always I have made the best of it. When life gave me lemons, I made lemonade. That's how I started that question. That's how I started answering that question. How to handle pressure, right? How do you handle pressure? The easiest way is prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Ask, go in front of a mirror, stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself these questions. You know these questions, right? Go to YouTube. There are commonly asked questions at interviews. Go through them, right? Practice, practice, practice. I practice after so many years of working, so many years of going for interviews. I still practice myself. You need to practice yourself. Can you have a beard because of religious rituals? Perfectly all right. Perfectly all right, because if it's a religious reason, but keep it trimmed and nice. You're going for an interview. What about a person wearing a head covering? That is hijab. Good question once again in Sri Lanka. Very relevant question. perfectly all right, right? If it is in your religion, that's perfectly all right. But again, wear neat clothes, right? If you're wearing a hijab, make sure it's neat and clean, right? Not faded. I've seen people wearing faded hijabs, right? Make it, it has to look presentable, right? I'll take a couple of more questions. I know there are a whole lot of questions. Right. Okay. Good question. What about carrying the certificates? Is it needed or can we just go with empty hands? Because it is now being told it is irrelevant as long as you can perform. Very good question, right? In my life, in my 21 years as a professional, I have gone to many interviews. Only once was I ever asked to show my certificates, but I have taken my certificates every time I went for an interview. It's always good to carry your certificates just in case, right? You can never know what the other person would ask. Carry your certificates. Yeah, certificates don't decide who you are. It's your attitude and how you speak and how well you present yourself that will get you that job. Can we take laptop for interview? Yes, you can. But also, as I said before, for the handbag, don't keep the laptop on the table. Keep it below the table, right, on the ground. If the person conducting the interview asks you to show your laptop or asks you to show some samples of your work, then you can excuse yourself, take the laptop. Please have it on standby, right? Don't shut down your laptop. And when that person wants to see your stuff, don't go to restart your laptop. It takes 10 minutes to reboot. No, don't do that, right? Laptop එක start කරලා තියාගන්න, වහලා තියාගන්න standby. Then that person, if that person asks you, take it out and show it. නැත්නම් ඔක restart වෙන්න 10 minutes, reboot වෙන්න තව 10 minutes, right? So not very professional. Should we interrupt the interviewer and ask the question, or should we stay till the end of the interview? I would say don't interrupt the person conducting the interview, right? There will be a time when that person asks you, do you have any questions? Shehan, do you have any questions? Then please say your question and that person will answer. Right. I'll take a couple of more questions. It's now almost 7:50. I have a couple of more slides as well to finish off the session. How we want to have our hair. So again, it's up to you. Have it neat, keep it neat, combed, lassanta tiyaganda. Have it in a presentable manner. You go in front of a mirror, look at yourself and ask, would someone give me a job if I go for this interview like this? Right? Look at yourself, look at, judge yourself hard and strongly, right? Balanda, would someone give you a job if you go to this interview like this, right? What if they ask what your salary expectations are, especially if you are going as an intern, right? So by now, if you're finishing your university, right, you would know what the normal salary for an internship position is, right? So do a bit of research, find out what these companies are paying. I'm sure if you're in a university, you can speak to some of your senior batches, people, say for example, at Pearson, if it's at Pearson, maybe someone from your senior batch is working at Pearson, right? So maybe give them a call and say, yeah, Akka, can you please tell me, I'm coming for an interview. What is the best way to tackle this, right? Simple stuff. Okay, guys, I think thank you so much for all your questions. Thank you so much. Okay, good question. Siandan Sivakumar has asked, sir, you said only for interview. Do we have to go this way when we go to work? If you can go this way, fantastic, right? I go this way for my interview. I go this way to work, even though it's a casual environment. Of course, there are some days I wear the company t-shirt or a casual shirt, but I try to dress myself always, right? Because something somebody told me at a very early stage in my life is, it's always better to be overdressed than underdressed, right? It's always better to go somewhere overdressed and then being underdressed. How many rounds have interviews? Okay, some companies have just one interview. Some companies have 3 interviews. I've been to some places where I have had to face 4 interviews. right? So it depends on the different companies. Short or long answers can be given. Try to make your answers short, but if you think you can add more context to what you're talking about yourself, how you can, better your chances. Say now, if there is something that you have to say which you think might give you an advantage over other people, please do those things. Can we answer questions in mother tongue if the answer is getting stuck? That also depends on the organization. If you are now, I have been interviewed by foreigners sometimes, so then you might have a problem, right? So it's always good. Guys, girls, there are plenty of resources online. There are plenty of places where you can improve your spoken English. Please do make use of those, right? I think, now say you go to work, right? You go to work, get a good job, right? If you work for a company called Pearson, you will get opportunities to work overseas as well at projects. Then what are you going to do? Right? Are you going to say, I'm not very familiar with English, I'm good in my mother tongue? No, right? You need to improve yourself. You need to improve yourself. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for the question. I have answered 21 questions. I'm sorry, I have to stop. I have a couple of more slides to go to finish off. Attitude. Sporting a positive attitude, even in the worst of situations, is a characteristic of an ideal candidate, right? So if I'm conducting an interview, if that person is nervous, don't worry. If you're nervous, don't worry, right? I will understand. Everyone is nervous. Even sometimes now, if I go for an interview or a meeting, sometimes I get nervous. Take a deep breath. Settle yourself. This is where your preparation is going to come in handy, right? Prepare yourself. Take a deep breath and start. Smile. Sit straight, don't slouch, right? There's a nice saying by Winston Churchill. It says, if you stop to throw stones at every dog that barks at you, you will never reach your destination. Burana ballan siru denata gal gasimata නැවතුනහොත් ඔබ කිසි දිනක ඔබගේ ගමනාන්තයට ළඟා නොවන. In Sri Lanka, there are plenty of dogs on the road, right? So if you try to walk somewhere, the dog would come barking, boo, 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 passing. Right? You take a stone, you try to hit the dog with the stone. The dog runs away. Will the dog give up? No, he will come behind you again. You take another stone, you try to hit that, hit the dog with that stone as well. You do that a few times, you know what the dog will do? The dog will go and bring his friends. ගැන්සියම අරන් එනවා. So හැමතිස්සෙම නැවති හැමෝටම ගාලා ගහන්න එනවද? Are you going to take stones and hammer all the dogs? No, right? People will say things about you, right? People have spoken a lot of negative things about me. There are people who speak negative things about me, but I don't care, right? I have prepared myself. I have come down from the lowest to where I am right now. Be strong, have a good attitude, not a very egoistic or a pandit attitude, right? Have a positive attitude, right? If the person conducting the interview asks you a question, smile, prepare and give a good answer. I'm sure you will succeed. This was an email we got some time back, right? If you take all the letters in the alphabet from A to Z and give a value to that letter based on the number. So A would be number 1, B is 2, Z would be 26, Y would be 25, right? Have a look at this. Hard work. If you add up the words, the letters of hard work, it comes up to 98%. Knowledge, it comes up to 96%. Love comes up only to 54%. A lot of people think the world revolves around love, right? Luck. Everyone thinks you need to have luck, but you add up the letters, it's just 47%. And what is 100%? Is it money? If you add up the letters, it comes to 72%. Is it leadership? If you add up the letters, it comes to 89%. Every problem has a solution only if we perhaps change our attitude to go to the top, to that 100%. What we really need is a little bit more what? Attitude. Surprise, surprise. If you add up the letters, it comes to exactly 100%. What a coincidence, right? Guys and girls, you need to have a good attitude in life to succeed in anything. Right? It is an attitude towards life and work that makes our life 100%. Attitude is everything. Change your attitude and you change your life. Have you heard of the African impala? I'm just take 2 minutes of your time. The African impala is a super animal, a fantastic animal. In the African savannas, this African impala can jump 10 feet high and 30 feet wide. So if a lion or a cheetah or a leopard is chasing behind this impala, it would jump like this. Can you see this picture? This impala is jumping over the road, right? So if it jumps from here, it will jump, it will land 30 feet away. But you go to the Dehiwala Zoo, you will see this impala caged in a 3-foot, inside a 3-foot wall. So why can't this impala that can jump 10 feet high, 30 feet wide in the African savannas, why can't it jump this 3-foot wall and escape? You know why? Because in the African savannas, when the impala jumps, he can see where it lands. But in the zoo, because of this 3-foot wall, it cannot see the other side. It cannot see where it's going to land. In other terms, it cannot see success, and because of that, it cannot achieve freedom. Don't be like the impala, right? Don't be like the impala. In life, we have so much of ability, right? I consider myself as someone who had very limited abilities, but someone who practiced hard and have achieved. You know, if you met me in school, I couldn't come forward and speak one sentence without looking at a piece of paper, right? But I practiced myself. I realized my mistakes and I practiced myself. Don't be like the impala, right? Don't have a small 3-foot wall in front of you that hinders your ability to jump 10 feet high, 30 feet wide and achieve in life. Okay, thank you so much. A nice saying that I saw in a workplace that I visited: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So you might forget what I said, you might forget today what I did, but I hope you will never forget how I made you feel. Right? If I made you feel happy, if I made you learn new things, I think I have achieved my objective. Thank you so much for being on this webinar. There were about 380 odd people connected at one time. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Consider me as a friend, right? If you have any questions, you're free to message me on Facebook Messenger. I might not add you as a friend, but if you have a question, I can always answer on Facebook Messenger as well. Okay, so that concludes my session. Thank you so much. Once again, I wish you all the best. Good night, stay safe, and may God bless you all. Over to EDB and SLASSCOM once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shehan. I think even right now, I know how to ace my next interview. So thank you so much. So that's come to the end of our day one, Digital IT BPM Week. So thank you so much for diving in to this session. So we have another 4 days more with 8 sessions on each day. So stay tuned. So thank you so much for joining in from Zoom as well as from Facebook. Have a good night. Thank you, Shan.
Thank you very much.